whenever you want to start the I'm just gonna just hit that. See how you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jim Turner Field. We're thrilled to have you for another exciting night of Williamsburg Raiders softball. Tonight's matchup is a sub-state championship Class 3A Region 2 as the Eagle Grove Eagles come to Williamsburg to face the Williamsburg Raiders. The Eagles coming into this matchup 17-10, the Raiders 32-7 in this Class 3A Region 2 championship. The Raiders coming to tonight's as the two-time defending Class 3A championships, proudly carrying that legacy of back-to-back titles in 2023 and 2024 with their sights set on a potential three-peat. This team is ready to make another deep postseason run. My name is Landon Jepson alongside my broadcast partner, Steph Dacey. Steph, how are you tonight?
Oh, good. Glad you're back. We missed you on, God, what a game that was. I don't know if you were watching it the whole time.
Yeah, it was
unreal. It felt like a championship game, so I feel like the Raiders, kind of put that one aside and knew that Benton going into that one was going to be a tough battle, so better team than what we played the first time around for sure, and just very fortunate that and excited that we came out on top.
Yes, and it's unbelievable because you see the progress that both of these teams made throughout the WAMAT Conference all summer long, and the things that we saw it was a late postseason run that they made, and we knew this game was going to be close.
Yep.
Of the three games that the Raiders have played, depending before this game has started with the Eagles, but the Bobcats have always played the Raiders really tough. And it was the late two-run shot by DeMoss, and then that Gorsh bomb into left center kind of clinched it for the Raiders. And that's the one moment that Gorsh just need. Didn't play the best in that first round game, but then really changed and clicked things against the Bobcats and really changed the perspective, and that was just an absolute smoke shot over the left center fence.
It was fun because all night she had been kind of fouling them down that left field line. The Benton shortstop tried to make a heroic play diving out of bounds and try to make that play. It doesn't. Very next pitch over that left field fence and certainly erupted. It was a fun night, nervous night, and I think the girls are ready to go. They've had some good practices, some good team bonding, and we have a great night here and wonderful, wonderful crowd, as always, showing up for our Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders, you looking at this Class 3A Region 2 bracket on the top side, the Raiders winning that first-round matchup and run rule victory over the Vicats of Shellsburg 9-1, then beating the Benton Bobcats 3-2, advancing the championship for the Eagle Grove Eagles, winning that first-round matchup against Clarion Goldfield Dows in run rule fashion 9-1, and then a shootout in the semifinal matchup against the Humboldt 11-10. Their leadoff and stud shortstop Addison Jeske leading things off, the senior, batting on the season over 500. So, Jeske coming into this one really has something to prove. Walked off Humboldt to advance Eagle Grove to the championship.
I was wondering.
So walk-off home run from Jeske, 11-10. But, it's going to be a great night of softball, and we couldn't pick a better evening at Jim Turner Field.
Raiders are ready to go, and not to put tears in anybody's eyes, but this will be, no matter what, the last game for this group of seniors here at Jim Turner Field, our last game of the season, unless we get a phone call tomorrow morning from the association asking to help out. But looking forward to this one, and I know these girls are prepared for this.
Jim Turner Field for regional finals of girls Class 3A softball.
Like you heard from the one and only Terry Hankman, one of the best Class 3A Region 2 championship here. The winner of this game will travel to Fort Dodge for the Class 3A state playoffs. Introducing now the starting lineup for the Eagle Grove Eagles. The Eagle Grove Eagles coming out of the top of Iowa Conference, but they will be joining the North Central Conference in the class year of 2026 and 27. So making a conference jump into the next year. And now introducing the starting lineup for the Eagle Grove Eagles, coming into this one with a 17-10 overall record. Introducing the starting lineup for the Eagles, leading off and playing shortstop, number 23, Addie Jeske. Batting second for the Eagles, second baseman, number 3, Crystal Flores Baez. Batting third for the Eagles, left fielder, number 27, Lily Locke. Batting fourth for the Eagles, catcher number 18, Holly Anderson. Batting fifth for the Eagles, pitcher number 24, Maya Morgan. One thing we're going to see from this Eagles offense is offensive production. Really have been a top-tier hitting conference team in the top of the Iowa Conference, and one team that we're really going to have to watch tonight with Jeske in that leadoff spot. Batting 6th and playing center field number 10, Ellie Lanning. Batting 7th for the Eagles, right fielder number 5, Micah Anderson. Batting 8th for the Eagles, first baseman number 12, Chloe Schultz. Batting 9th for the Eagles, designated player number 2, Brenna Grandgeorge. And playing third base in the flex position, number 9, Addie Pamperin. The Eagles are coached by Jimmy McLaughlin, assisted by Tim McLeod, McChristy Willard, and Carrie Christopher. Up and down this lineup, we'll dive into some statistics for the Eagles later in this game. Should be a great game. The Eagles traveling a long ways. The winner of that Humboldt and Eagles matchup would have traveled a long way of over 2 hours to travel to Williamsburg in eastern Iowa. And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Once again, thank you to all for joining us on the Williamsburg CSD YouTube page for tonight's playoff Class 3A Region 2 Championship. It is a packed house here at Jim Turner Field tonight. And now the starting lineup for your Williamsburg Raiders. Leading off and playing third base, number 11, McKenna Hughes. Batting second, shortstop, number 3, Carly Rich. Batting third, playing left field, number 6, Allie Gorsh. Batting for cleaning up for the Raiders, first baseman, number 8, Taylor Pillick. Batting fifth for the Raiders, second base, number 2, Taylor Sanchez. Batting sixth for the Raiders, pitcher number 17, Jersey Metz. Batting seventh for the Raiders, right fielder number 5, Callan Spratt. Batting eighth for the Raiders, designated player number 15, Kylie Allen. Batting ninth for the Raiders, center fielder number 12, Ava Hooker. And in the flex position, catching for the Raiders is number 16, Lily Ness, rounding out the lineup. Up and down this lineup for both the Eagles and the Raiders show defensive poise. Hits after hits after hits. Both teams are not afraid to put up runs, and super excited to see this Class 3A Region 2 championship game.
Umpires for tonight's game. At third base, Michael Krishner. First base, Sharon Menke. And behind home plate, calling balls and strikes, Mike Vitt. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give these umpires a round of applause, because without them, this game is not possible. Now please turn your attention to the flag located behind the first base dugout as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Tonight is performed by Williamsburg graduate and current Wartburg College student Landon Jepson. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Landon Jepson.
Anthem complete.
Nice
Pregame
job.
analysis complete. Let's play softball.
Game time.
You know, like we talked about, up and down these lineups, we're going to see a lot of power. 11-10 win for the Eagles in that semifinal matchup against Humboldt. Walk-off fashion with the Jeske walk-off home run. And for the Raiders, they played a very close game. I was sadly up north with my girlfriend's family, but you had the best commentary from Steph.
Oh.
It was the best. I turned into the sixth inning. I'm like, you got to put her on SportsCenter. This is unbelievable.
I had to step up, Grady helped me out, kind of. But no, it was fun. We certainly missed you. I think for me, I was able to, because I had to talk a little bit more. It allowed me to relax a little bit too, and but no, it was a really fast game. You know, there was so many innings there where they were just 1-2-3, 1-2-3 for Benton and us, and pretty clean overall too. So, but new game, new day, and we'll be hopefully ready to celebrate in about an hour and a half. And I did see already they played a 3A game with Dubuque-Wahlert, West Delaware, so Dubuque-Wahlert won that one. I assume they'll be the number 1 seed, kind of being the number 1 team in the state.
We get the first count of the night on the live stream. 219 people to start our live stream. Need to dare grip it and rip it, Raiders.
All right.
That's a way to start it off. But as we get things rolling here, start things off, just called strike on the outside corner there. Umpires tonight for these Class 3A championship games here. We're going to get 3 umpires behind the plate calling the balls and strikes is Mike Vint. At first base is Sharon Menke, and at third base is Michael Kreisner. Once again, like Terry said, thank you to all of the umpires for what they do in the state of Iowa. It's all of the amazing things for both the Iowa Girls Union as well as the Iowa High School Association for both sides. It's the umpires are just left and right. So
yeah, we
awesome
can't
stuff.
do it. Yeah, can't do it without them.
1-1 count here to Jeske, and the swing and a miss and a nice pitch from Metz.
It's
Metz,
nice that we're
yes.
going into Benton's game. We kind of had the same situation with their leadoff hitter kind of being a slap hitter. So defensively, you kind of see Mac and Taylor coming up here in the corners.
1-2 count and the pitch and a foul back by Jeske. Like we talked about, Jeske was the walk-off efficiency run for the Eagles, beating Humboldt. Jeske coming into this game batting a .522 in 90 at-bats, 47 hits, 39 of those being singles, 3 home runs and 25 RBI on the season for the senior. Did some research. Jeske will be taking her talents to play softball at Iowa Central next year.
Oh, awesome.
So,
Okay, kind of close to home then in Fort Dodge. Oh.
yeah, like you said, Steph, you know, that slap approach, 39 of those 47 hits being singles, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, one of those home runs coming in the semifinal game to advance them to the Region 2 championship. Ball just a bit downstairs. Metz going with the off speed. Jeske with a nice eye in the leadoff spot. 3-2 counts, fouled one back. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. But one thing that we saw last game from the Raiders against the Bobcats was Metz efficiency in the circle, and she was lights out, Steph.
Yep. Just trusted her defense, had some key strikeouts, and just really attacked some of their better hitters in the state. I mean, when you looked at Benton's lineup, you're kind of shaking your head about their record, but with some of those hitters. So it was nice to see Jersey just kind of come in, especially after giving that home run up in the top of the 7th to cut that lead down to 1. And she's like, oh, clean slate, 3 up, 3 down. It was perfect.
Yeah, and the Bobcats in the past have been a state
Yep.
tournament team. You know, Anna Gla taking her talents to Wartburg. Hannah Grinder has been over almost at 400 hit. Oh, what a pitch there from Metz, but just a bit upstairs there. And Jeske with the full count walk, but Gla, Grinder, DeMoss, that team it's been up and down 3A, and you know the Raiders getting that 3-2 victory in the semifinals. But
that was kind of a weird play. It's not to say that it wasn't a ball, but it was because she was kind of running out of the base. I thought it made it a little more challenging for the umpire to.
nice throw there by Ness, but the wheels of Jeske. We've got 2 of the top sealers in the state of Iowa going out tonight. Jeske, 41st stolen base on the year. Hughes approaching 60 as we speak. But, you know, Jeske's going to be that speed demon. We've got leadoff speed demons for both sides tonight, and it should be a fun one. Now batting for the Eagles, second baseman number 3, Crystal Flores Baez. Ball popped up right towards Carly Rich in the sun, and she will get the out. Nice pitch there from Metz in the circle for the first out. Now batting for the Eagles in the 3 spot, left fielder number 27, Lily Locke. Locke coming into this one batting a .347 on the season. 26 hits, 2 home runs, 18 RBI, and 75 at-bats. Started in 26 games and played in 27 on the season. Nice pitch from Metz to start the at-bat, and an off-speed pitch that will get a called strike 1.
You know, for folks kind of paying attention to stats, I don't want to say they can be skewed, but you have to understand the Raiders have played, 13 more games?
Well, let's see here.
What are we at there?
32-7 are are the Williamsburg Raiders. 39 games, about 12 more games than the Eagles. So
yeah, 12, yeah, okay. So, stolen bases, you got to always kind of compare, a little bit different than in, a football season, a basketball season where everyone plays pretty much the same amount of games. Softball can vary depending on what their conference is like. So great job by the Raiders giving up that leadoff walk and getting those 2 outs in here in the infield.
2 outs now for the Raiders. A swing and a miss. Now batting for the Eagles, catcher number 18, Holly Anderson. Anderson batting in the cleanoff spot tonight for the Eagles. Anderson, a sophomore, batting a .350 and 80 at-bats, 28 hits, 15 of those being singles, 10 doubles, leading the team. The next closest is a bunch of Eagles tied with 3, so a double machine is Anderson. 1-1 count with 2 outs. 2 quick outs for the Raiders here. Early on, Baez with a pop out to Rich at shortstop, and then Metz with a nice play in foul territory on the run to get lockout. So 2 outs, 1-1 count to Anderson. The pitch, a nice eye there from Anderson to leave it in the dirt. That brings up the old hitter's count of 2-1. The Eagles coming out of the top of the Iowa Conference. Your Williamsburg Raiders coming out of the Wamak West Conference. Metz with the 2-1 delivery. Foul tip behind the plate. 2-2 count here now. Great battle here from Anderson. A really smart pitch here that she's got to come here. 2 outs. Jetski on second with the wheels. Any ball that hits the grass will probably score her.
Yep.
And
want to try to keep this one a pop-up somewhere, or a great strikeout would be a key moment right here.
Yeah, she loves the drop ball here in this scenario. Maybe see a rise ball with the 2 strikes. Here, Metz with the pitch. It'll be a ball driven towards foul territory, and that'll go over the Raider dugout. Anderson with another foul ball. A couple foul balls, and Anderson's at bat now, switching up balls. There to give Metz a freshman in the circle here, but Jeske with the leadoff full count walk, and 2 quick outs for the Raiders defensively. Anderson 2-2 here with 2 outs. Metz with the pitch. That's a great pitch.
Nice.
And you can now frame, great frame by Ness and a great pitch by Metz.
Yeah,
that's the same pitch that she got the Bobcats to end it.
Yeah,
right on the
right.
outside corner.
Yep.
To end that victory, and a great start to the top of the first for the Eagles. In the top of the first, they score no runs on, no hits, no Raider errors in the field, and 1 Eagle left on base. Due up for the Raiders in the bottom of the first, the ever-so-speedy McKenna Hughes, Carly Rich, and Allie Gorsh. 1, 2, 3 due up for the Raiders in the bottom of the first. A little bit of history here as we look back at the Raiders here over the last couple years. 2020, runner-up in Class 3A. 2021 and 2022, 3rd place in Class 3A. In the past 2 years, the Raiders back-to-back Class 3A champions. Looking at last year, that high-scoring game. I'll never forget that state championship game last year. Sanchez home run. The Raiders just connected left and right, and then Assumption would crawl their way back, and then the Raiders would add a couple more runs, and then they finally clinched it in the end, winning it 12-9. So, an Assumption playing for a trip tonight as well. We'll try
to
you
do our best.
Updates from all regions as much as we do, but man, it's such a great night. There's so much you could watch tonight. The Indiana Fever are on tonight.
I saw that.
The All-Star Game's on tonight, and Williamsburg Raiders
What
softball.
All-Star Game? The All-Star Game's right here.
And
Cal Raleigh
last night
awesome.
becoming the first catcher in MLB history to win the home run derby.
Yeah. Kind of cool to have his brother catching and his dad pitching to him.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. And a called strike on the outside corner. In the circle for the Eagles is number 24, Maya Morgan. Behind the plate catching for the Eagles is number 18, Holly Anderson. Leading off for the Raiders is third baseman, McKenna Hughes.
Kind
just
of
a bit
weird,
outside there.
It's not a weird technique. It's just, she is a lefty on the mound, and it looks like it kind of comes out and comes back in.
A little bit of a tail on that fastball.
Yep.
You see, Raiders not seeing many lefties this season. It's probably in a swing and a miss there. You're going to get a different angle when you see a lefty pitcher like this. Morgan in these first 2 strikes, she's really aiming on that outside corner.
Yep.
And the right center part of the field is going to have to be the Raiders' happy place tonight, because they're not going to see, because the Raiders thrive on inside pitches that they can take to the left side of the field. And that right side of the field are going to be big for the Raiders. And there, it's just right off the end of the bat, Ball rolls foul right by the sponsors for the Williamsburg Raiders softball team. But dive into some stats here. For Morgan on the mound this year, 15-9 with 139 2/3 innings pitched, 155 strikeouts. Strikeouts are going to be the thing. A lot of off speed, a lot of tail on that fastball that we've been seeing here real early in this matchup. With a 2.36 ERA, 126 hits, slow roller, that'll be an out. Nice play there by second baseman Crystal Flores-Baez for the first Eagle out. 15-9, 139 2/3, a 224 opponent's batting average, which is really good. 126 hits, 55 errors, but that one stat that I'm really going to stick with is those 155 strikeouts. And she's the main pitcher that's really connected and gone all season for the Eagles. And, that's another thought, too, because, with the Raiders having 3 consistent pitchers they can lean on, that's another thing with games. And, Coach Birdie loves to schedule those games to get more atmosphere, to play those Class 5A, to play those Class 4A teams, to just get more experienced. And that's why the Raiders are always here at the top of the level, playing against some of the best competition in the state. 0-1 count here. Off-speed pitch there. Down. Now batting for the Raiders, shortstop, number 3, Carly Rich. Rich on the season, 106 at-bats, 34 hits, 26 singles. Ball just a bit outside there. Coming in, batting a .321, 21 walks in the season, 44 total bags. Hughes with a slow roller to Baez at second base for the first out. 2-1 count here in the pitch.
There we go.
Ball driven towards the right field line, and the Raiders had the approach.
Yeah,
they
and
have
this
the
is
right
Carly.
side approach.
She does probably hit more balls to the right side of the field, so this is probably a good matchup for her, and she can just kind of stay focused here, keep battling, put a ball in the gap just to get that first runner on for the Raiders.
Two delivery to Rich. That ball will be driven right towards Baez. Baez with 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. And Morgan with a nice pitch there. 2 quick ground outs. 2 second base, 2 G4s if you want it in analytical terms for the statistics. Allie Gorsh now batting, senior left fielder with a 2-run shot to advance the Raiders there in the semifinal game. Hitting that 2-run shot in the bottom of the 6th, and ball just a bit upstairs there. Looked real close in the outside corner, but the umpire behind the plate's got the best view in the house. Gorsh on
First
the season.
pitch, was that changeup, rise ball?
It's most likely a changeup there. You've got that tail there with a little fastball there, but ball just a bit outside. 2-0 count here with 2 outs. Gorsh on the season, a .456 average, 6 home runs, 44 RBI, tied on the team with Taylor Sanchez with home runs, and then leads the team with 44 RBIs, as well as doubles. Ball driven out towards right field, and that'll be a pop-up and a catch for the Eagles in right field. Nice play there by Micah Anderson to end the home half of the first. A quick first inning here in Williamsburg for the Raiders in the bottom of the first. They score no runs on no hits, no Eagle errors in the field, and no Raiders left on base. Due up for the Eagles in the top of the second, Morgan, Lenning, and Anderson. Steph, our keys to the game, like we talked about, it's going to be the little things. The defense has got to be really on point for both squads tonight. We've seen the leadoff speed that both of these teams possess with Jeske and Hughes. But, great first inning.
Yeah, for the Raiders, just getting an opportunity to see that live. Because, again, we've had a few lefty pitchers go up against us this year, but that technique is just a little bit probably different than what they've seen, especially trying to paint that outside corner. So just getting an opportunity to see that. Luckily, we do have some lefty batters, so that works out well in our favor. And, yeah, defensively, just keep letting Jersey do what she does and keep those base runners at bay. So.
And that's the one thing about the Raider lineup is only one lefty in the lineup.
Yep.
Pitlick being the lone lefty in the lineup for the
now,
Raiders.
Allie could do a switch hit.
Allie
I haven't
is the
seen
switch.
her do it this
she
year.
Does
though.
have the
You're
switch
right.
hitting
I kind of forgot
capabilities.
about that too. We just kind of mentioned that.
Yeah, looking at this Eagles lineup, a lot of left-handed hitters. Now brings up pitcher number 24, Maya Morgan, to lead off the top of the second for the Eagles. Maya Morgan this season batting at .225, 15 strikeouts, 16 hits on the season, 8 singles, no home runs on the season, but 5 RBI. pardon me, Morgan with 5 home runs on the season. I was looking at the player right underneath her. Morgan leading the team in home runs with 5. So 5 home runs, 18 RBI, 12 walks, 15 strikeouts, slugging of .479 with an average of .225. So Morgan with 5 home runs. The sophomore pitcher. Eagles with a very young team here. 0-1 count. Nice pitch there from Metz. Morgan out in front of that one by a long shot. 0-2 count. Best spot for Metz to be in here to start the top of the second. For Metz in the circle, she's been lights out all season long. 17-5 with 116 2/3 innings pitched, 98 hits with a 2.22 ERA. Ball just a bit outside there. A .220 batting average against. Both Morgan and Metz's batting against coming very similar. Morgan's being at .224, Metz's being at .220. 98 hits giving up, but like we said, Morgan has thrown over 150 innings on the season, and that's for the Raiders. They've had those 3 arms that they can lean to, Steph, and that's the difference.
Yeah, we haven't had to have anybody but Jersey so far in the postseason, but it is nice to have the double headers that we're able to play, because it puts that comfort on Braylee Plotz and Kaylin Becker if we were to need them.
Nice pitch there from Metz, going back to the off speed there. The Eagles doing a great job working the counts. We've seen multiple full counts here already early on. 2-2 count there. Morgan staying disciplined in the plate, just fouling off that off-speed pitch there from Metz. Metz with the 2-2 count and the pitch. And that's a cold
nice
strike 3 swinging for Metz in the outside corner. The heel clicking the outfield by the Raiders. 1 out here in the top of the second. Morgan going down on strikes. Now batting for the Eagles, center fielder number 10, Ellie Lenning. Lenning on the season in 47 at-bats, 15 hits, 14 of her hits being singles. No home runs, 12 RBIs. Coming into this matchup, batting a .319 with a .340 slugging. Center fielder with the 0-1 count for Metz. Well, just a bit downstairs there. Moves the count to 1-1 here. We said Steph will be giving you advanced stats on Game Changer as we keep on rolling through innings.
It's hard to find teams. Game Changer goes back to like 2017. So
it does.
Trying to find other teams, it's going to be quite the challenging.
The nice thing about Bound nowadays is a lot of people are usually at the sites, and right when the games are done, we can update all of the regions across Class 3A. 8 teams will be sent to the state tournament in Fort Dodge. 1-2 count here for Metz in the circle with the pitch. A swing and a miss. Great pitch there for Metz to get Lenning down on strikes. Morgan and Lenning down on strikes for the Eagles. Metz with 2 quick strikeouts here in the top of the second, and a great way to start the inning, Steph.
So just a quick in-game. So we got Mount Vernon Mustangs versus CPU, and CPU up early 2-0, so kind of a rematch from last year, if I remember right, with CPU taking down Mount Vernon.
A big cut there for the Eagles. Right fielder number 5, Mike Anderson. Anderson with the catch to end the bottom of the first with a gorse fly out to right field. Anderson 0-1 count. Nice pitch there from Metz there, and a nice play there by Sanchez. Goes off the top of her glove, but stays with it. 1-2-3 inning here for the Raiders in the top of the second. For the Eagles in the top of the second, they score no runs on no hits, no Raider errors in the field, and no Eagles left on base.
That was a great play by Taylor.
Yeah, great play.
The other night, I think she got 2 or 3 off of Jersey's foot or glove. She just had to react to it, and luckily at second base you don't have very far to throw, so she's able to get that runner out.
And that's the one thing we've seen from Sanchez all year is the quick flip.
Yep.
It's the bang, bang, off the top of the glove, throw quick.
Yep.
Off the top of the glove, throw quick. Off of Jersey's glove, I'm going to go grab it, bang, bang, play, and to get the out. For the Raiders in the bottom of the second, 4, 5, 6. Pitlick, Sanchez, Metz due up for the Raiders in the bottom of the second. And we've talked about these playoff hitters for the Raiders. Pitlick not being that home run threat, but that base-hitting machine.
Yes, she just finds a way to get on base, steps up in big spots. even just getting it wasn't Taylor Pitlick, but just even thinking about the first run of the game against Benton, it was a laid down perfect bunt that just hung out on that chalk line, and and then Max coming in. So Taylor, I know, wants to have a good last night here at the Jim Turner Field.
Leading off the bottom of the second for the Raiders, first baseman number 8, Taylor Pitlick. Pitlick on the season has been, like we just talked about, a base hitting machine. Pitlick coming into this one batting a .438, 53 total bases on the season, and a called strike one for Morgan in the circle to start the bottom of the second. Pitlick in 105 at-bats, 46 hits, 39 singles, 7 doubles, no home runs, and 28 RBI for Pitlick on the season.
Oh,
and a nice play at shortstop. A sidewinding line drive off of the bat of Pitlick, but a nice play by Jeske at shortstop.
It's just, nice to see that solid contact for Taylor. Just maybe just a hair taller, and it gets into that little gap, but nice play by the Eagle Grove shortstop.
Yeah, Jeske making a nice play there. Ball drifting her way. The wind kind of giving it a little tail. You saw that ball tail a little bit to the left.
Looked a little low.
Little low there. 0-1 count here, but yeah, that ball had a little tail to the left. And Jeske with a nice play to open the bottom of the second, but now batting for the Raiders, the ever so dangerous second baseman number 2, Taylor Sanchez.
He kind of signals that one was just a little bit too high.
Sanchez on the season has been one of those consistent hitters, .447, and accounts for the Raiders second in Class 3A and a batting average at .391. Nice eye there from Sanchez, but the one statistic that we've always talked about Sanchez all year is walks. Rich and Sanchez amongst the leaders in walks for the Raiders. Sanchez leading the team with 22 walks, and the plate discipline, like you just saw there. 2-1 count, ball low, moving the count to 3-1 here. The disciplined Sanchez on the season has been a clinic. 6 home runs, leads the team in triples with 6. 40 RBI, 22 walks to lead, .447 average. Called strike 2 on the outside corner, moving the count to full, but an .840 slugging, over 42 hits, 23 singles, 7 doubles, 6 triples. It's up in every single one she's hit. Morgan with the 3-2 count, and a ball driven towards right field. That'll land on West End Park over there. Hard hit ball towards right field. Coach Hollab down at first base, giving the support. Keep that same approach. Follow what you've been taught all season long. Full count here. A big pitch and a big opportunity for the Raiders. And a ball forward and a nice eye there from Sanchez, and that'll be the first base runner for the Raiders here in the bottom of the second. Now batting for the Raiders, pitcher number 17, Jersey Metz. One thing we've seen from Metz recently is she has been great in the box.
Yes, yeah, she's been on fire, if I can use a basketball term there. She's found just great pitches to drive. As we've talked about, too, just getting a pitcher on base just allows some of that speed to
nice
be transferred
from Metz.
For her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Metz on the season, 94 at-bats, 34 hits, 26 singles, 8 doubles, 31 RBIs on the season, third on the team in RBIs. Ball down low. A nice eye there and a great stop by the Eagles catcher, Holly Anderson.
Does it really kind of show a stat of when you're a catcher on bound?
It does. It does.
I know how many putouts you've had, but attempts?
Yes, so
Does that make sense?
Anderson on the season is 9 of 27 when runners steal.
Okay.
So advanced stats here, when you look at it, catchers are always going to lead in putouts, 176 putouts. Total chances for Anderson, 196, but yes, 9 for 27 on runners stealing. So, it's a decent percentage. It's still over the 500 threshold,
yeah.
But, with the Raiders' speed, it could be a real strong advantage here for the Raiders.
And yeah, you just kind of like to see what she's like throwing the ball down to second and her approach defensively.
And a great at-bat there put together by Metz, and that'll be a one-out walk. And we will get a courtesy runner for the pitcher is number 1, Keston Spratt, and it always seems to come to be. When a Spratt's on base, a Spratt's up the bat.
That works out really well.
Spratt now on first, and now brings up senior right fielder for the Raiders, number 5, Callan Spratt. Big opportunity here for Spratt. A called strike down low. Update from the live stream. Steph, guess how many people you have watching?
1,000.
417.
Really?
We're
wow.
getting there.
I was just being like, I was.
I'm telling you, they must have heard you on TV or something. they came to watch Williamsburg Raider softball. Ball just
I
a bit
did.
down low.
I did let the Eagle Groves, very nice gentleman, their radio broadcaster. Hey, if you want to let folks know, you can find the game on YouTube, but just they might want to turn that volume down because we are Raider fans and we want the nice down the third base line. We're going to score. Taylor Sanchez. Let's see if we can get Keston Spratt in. Absolutely 2-0 Raiders. Woo!
And that's a way to start the bottom of the second. We've seen Spratt. We saw that in the Vinton-Shellsburg game. A double right down that third base line, right down the line, and you could not have put that ball in a more perfect spot. Scoring both Sanchez and her sister with the double runs. The Raiders 2-0 lead now here in the bottom of the second.
You said things wouldn't go down the left field line. Look at that.
The approach there. And one thing we've been seeing from Morgan is, it's one or two pitches that are going to hit the inside part of the plate, and that's when the Raiders are going to have to execute. Because she's living on that outside corner as a left-handed pitcher. But, I did say the Raiders are going to have to focus on that right center gap, and they proved me wrong, Steph.
Nice.
Great poise from Allen. And a nice throw there. That'll trickle out of the glove of Anderson behind the plate. And, there was the off-speed pitch there from Morgan. Allen stays loaded, stays back, and threw the ball up the middle. And, as a designated player, we have seen that so much for those players that have stepped up this season, and she executed that perfectly there, Steph.
Yeah, I mean, really, she didn't play in the Benton game. Coach went with Abby Beatty, which I thought she did a great job at the plate. She almost drove the first one out of the ballpark. So just another great spot for Kylie to be in here, come up big in the bottom of the second.
Brings up the ever so dangerous 9-hole hitter, center fielder, number 12, Ava Hooker.
I don't know. Do you see a bunt being laid down here, you think? I mean, look how far.
You never know. With speed at
here.
Second with Allen and, Hooker's dangerous track speed that she has, you never know.
Safe.
A close play there made, but the pass ball will allow Allen to advance. Now, like you said, you kind of talked it into progress here. The bunt now could be active here. 1 out, 2-0 count. The perfect time to bunt for the Raiders. Now up 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. Morgan with the 2-0 pitch. Ball downstairs, move the count to 3-0. Hooker on the season in 80 at-bats, 28 hits, 18 singles, 4 doubles, 4 triples. Tied for second on the team in triples, 2 home runs, and 20 RBI, batting at .350. It'll be ball 4, 4 pitches, and a 4-pitch walk there. Raiders, runners on the corners now, and it's a perfect time to just reconvene things with the Eagles. Nothing, 3 runs given up. So much time, so many more innings to be played here at Jim Turner Field. Coach McLaughlin here just wanting to address things with the Raiders, and those things. A lot of those Raider runs that got on base were not hits.
Yeah, I think one of the approaches that the Raiders kind of took, especially this inning, is just waiting to see some pitches. Let's see if she can throw consistent strikes, especially when she was early on in that first inning. She was hitting way outside. So just see if she has some control and make her throw strikes, and really hasn't been able to do that in this bottom of the second.
Back to the top of the lineup for the Raiders, and third baseman number 11, McKenna Hughes. Allen on third, Hooker on first after the 1-out walk. With Hooker's speed, she most likely will be stealing, and she does with the slide into second. 1 out here, speedy lead off in McKenna Hughes. You could see the bunt laid down here. 1-0 count, nothing hurt for the Eagles here. A couple walks for Morgan in the circle. But that Eagles defense has been great defensively, backing her up. And another ball. 6 straight balls here thrown by Morgan in the circle. Raiders doing a great job in the plate, waiting for that strike, waiting for their pitch to drive. 3-0 deficit for the Eagles. And Hughes with a slow tapper to her shortstop. She'll reach first safely. That'll be ruled as an infield single. Steph, it's so hard for a slow roller like that to get Hughes out with the speed.
Well, and at the same time that shortstop's trying to field it, you got runner scoring, Ava kind of getting into the base running attempt, so maybe a little bit of nerves there on what to do, and really at the end of the day, McKenna's speed is just not going to be able to get that done.
Now you've got 2 runners on base that almost add up to 80 stolen bases between each other on the season. Hughes coming into this game 57 of 61 on the season. We're going to see the double steal there from the Raiders, and they reach safely.
Double steal for the Raiders.
Man, I think Terry's just listening to me.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's hearing everything I say, and he's like, all right, I'm going to listen to him. But it's the other way around. When I like his taste in music pregame, I'm telling you, it is some of the best music.
He's good. That was the most nervous I was when I had to do PA every once in a while. Was figuring out the music, making sure that the girls aren't mad at you, the parents aren't mad at you for anything that you pick, that it's pumped you up but then doesn't hurt the other teams. You don't want anything that disrupts the other team. So he does a great job.
Ava Hooker with her 22nd stolen base on the season, improving to 22 of 24. Hughes' 58th stolen base on the season, still approaching that 60 mark. Called strike on the outside corner for Morgan. 2-1 count here. Raiders lead 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. 4 runs on 3 hits for the Raiders here in the bottom of the second. We had a quick first inning, and the Raiders offense starting to click here in the bottom of the second. Foul ball there, there you see the bunt there from Rich to see if they can score. Hooker from third. 2-2 count here with 1 out. A big pitch here for Morgan.
Really for Carly, she just puts the ball in play anywhere. Ava's going to, even if she skies it out to the outfield, we can tag something, just put the ball in play.
And that's the approach that Rich wants there, fouling off one towards the Eagles' dugout. That right side approach is what they want. We see the third baseman, Addie Pamperin, just ahead of the bag there. And first baseman for the Eagles, Chloe Schultz, just ahead of the bag as well, just to see if there can be a quick ground out and a play made at home. But a ball driven towards left field.
No! Oh my gosh! Get!
That is over the fence!
Holy cow! Carly Rich, a home run! Not just a home run, a 3-run home run.
3-run shot.
Woo!
And Steph, that's what you needed.
Oh my!
That's what you needed.
Adelaide, Carly. Holy cow.
As we always say, Raider Santa Maria. 7-0 advantage here. And
oh,
wow.
my gosh. I don't think she's had a home run since maybe her 8th grade year. Let's do some advanced stats on that one. It was a night. I wasn't here, but it was a night, I swear. She hit a home run. She might have pitched, and then Sam played really well. He doesn't hit.
She's hit 1 home run on the season.
Carly?
Yeah,
this
she's
season.
hit 1. She's hit 1.
It was over the fence. It was an inside the park.
Inside the park?
Yep.
Oh, so over the fence.
Over the fence. Hasn't hit one, I don't think, until 8th or 9th grade. You'll have to double check that. So very proud of you, Carly Jean. Love you, kid.
We want to apologize to all the people watching at home if
Sorry.
we broke your JBL, your Sony speakers there at home. We might have just broke the audio box here at the stadium there. We apologize if, just contact Williamsburg Schools if we need to help you guys with speakers. So, Raiders. And what a hit there from Rich. The 3-run shot, in her last game here at Jim Turner Field. A
Hilarious
3-run
enough,
shot.
we've both been wrong because Carly likes to hit it to right, and she smokes it to left, and then everything we've scored has been coming to the left side of the field. So
A called strike on the outside corner for Morgan. The one thing about that pitch there, off speed, left for right over the plate. And what we saw with Allen, line drive dribbler up the middle for the single. What we saw with Rich, determined at bat, and that's a single through the left side for Gorsh, and the Raiders hits are coming alive here. 5 hits now for the Raiders in the bottom of the second. The Raider offense has just been piecing the ball up left and right here in this half inning. But like we saw, Rich, wow. Yeah, that's, like you said, Steph, not hitting a home run in so long. Probably need to text Darcy to see when the last time she did, in fact, hit a home run.
Darcy might have that.
Philip drive. That'll be a catch.
Someone's out or safe.
A ball just off the end of the bat there by Pillock, and a nice play there by Addie Jeske at shortstop. You know, with the dive, it looked like it may have bounced there right in front of her, but Jeske with a nice play there at shortstop and almost with the throw to get Gorsh out at first, coming up from all the way off the ground there, but again, a quick out there for the Eagles. There, a much needed out after the Raiders put on 7 runs here in the bottom of the second.
So what I do after every one of the basketball players hits a home run, as Coach likes to call them, sometimes softball players, I text them, bomb, and then have some type of explosion. So it's Carly's turn. She gets the bomb text.
And a line drive piece there by Sanchez. You know, that ball going off of the pitcher and then rolling right to the second baseman in Flores Baez with a third out. A great job there from the Eagles to get out of the jam, reset things in the top of the third. For the Raiders in the bottom of the second, they score 7 runs on 5 hits. And 1 Raider left on base and no Eagle errors in the field. And that's the one thing. The Eagles defensively, you know, the slow roller to Hughes is probably the closest thing to an error, but the ever so speed of Lightning Mick Hughes, it's what we saw. And it's the Raiders just came to hit. Coach Brady must have said something in that dugout after the slow first inning. Let's roll. Yep. Let's play Raider softball.
Maybe he saw something in a couple of the pitches, or just like we talked about, let her throw strikes, because I think what happened, she was probably so focused on wanting to throw strikes to avoid walks, it led to some of those monster hits then for the Raiders in the bottom of that second inning.
It was a 1-2-3 half in the top of the second for Jersey Mets. Due up 4. The Eagles in the top of the third. Schultz, Grand George, and Pamperin. Pardon me. Schultz, Grand George, and back to the top of the lineup with Jeske. So 8-9-1 here, due up 4. The Eagles here in the top of the third. Leading off for the Eagles here is first base number 12, Chloe Schultz. Chloe Schultz on the season in 53 at-bats, 14 hits, 11 singles, 3 doubles, no home runs, and 7 RBI coming into this playoff matchup, batting a .264.
Your dad text.
Huh?
Your dad text said, you guys are having too much fun.
He's always he told me before the game, have fun, LJ. And I'm like, Dad?
We will.
We will. Ball upstairs there for Mets. A nice eye there from Schultz to start off the at-bat. Just to recap the bottom of the second, to my knowledge, 3-run shot from Carly Rich, 2-run double from Spratt, RBI single there from Kylie Allen. Just a hurrah of runs there in the bottom of the second for the Raiders.
You know, really to kind of go back, Kylie Allen's hit was huge. You know, that kind of was a really just strong hit ball that kind of spurred the Raiders' momentum in that.
I'll use one of my big broadcasting words. It was pivotal.
Oh, pivotal, yes. Good word. What class was that? Did you learn that?
Sports writing and announcing. Winter term last year. It was a great class. The AP handbook does come in clutch sometimes. 1-2 count here. Foul ball off the bat of Schultz. 1-2 pitch here from Mets. A couple strikeouts in the last half. Looking for another one here with the pitch. Ball just fouled. A nice at bat from Schultz. You know, Steph, one thing we've seen from the Eagles is they keep on fouling off pitches to make it hard for Mets to get them out. 1-2 count here after the foul ball from the first baseman in Chloe Schultz. 8-9-1 due up for Eagles here in the top of the third. Mets with the 1-2 pitch. Ball just high there, and a nice eye there from Schultz. That's a tough pitch to take there. The Eagle fans, you can hear them from the side really cheering on Schultz there. Telling her it was a great take, in which it was. 2-2 count here for Mets with the pitch. The ball driven sharply towards Hughes at third, and that'll be a nice play. G5 for Hughes there at third base. First out here for the Raiders in the top of the third, retiring Schultz. Now batting for the Eagles, designated player number 2, Brenna Grand George. Grand George on the season, the junior, in 57 at-bats, 13 hits, 11 singles, 2 doubles, no home runs, 5 RBI, and batting a .228. Swing and a miss from Grand George to start the at-bat. And the one thing that we've seen from these previous games, Steph, is, errors have really haunted a lot of these teams, but the Eagles have the Raiders have found the best places to hit.
Yep.
And it's
they
hard.
really have. They haven't made any errors, and we just kind of talked about their the walks and that, and then just getting hits. Which, when you watch a softball game, you want to see that. I think when you're the opposing team, you don't want to think yourself that you beat yourself, that the other team made plays and won the game.
Another foul ball off the bat of Grand George. 0-2 count here for Grand George. Once again, thank you to everyone that is watching on the Williamsburg CSD YouTube page.
Man.
Look at your husband.
Aren't broadcast? Nope. They are supposed to.
Tony, I love that you like to keep your wife in check.
That's
just great.
I'm not a broadcaster.
You gave your best home run call I've ever seen. I heard a bang bang on the metal. We heard the drums on the wooden seat. You better go watch that and show.
I'll have to ask Coach Birdie after this.
Yeah, literally, you get that just on repeat, and you could just hear that probably one of the best home run calls that you'll hear out of Steph Dacey. And a nice off-speed pitch. That's going with the drop ball there for the second out to strike out Grand George. Back to the top of the lineup for the Eagles and shortstop number 23, Addie Jeske. We said Jeske on the season within the top 10 in batting average in Class 3A at that mark. Jeske on that season batting a batting a .522. 90 at-bats, 39 singles, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 3 homers, tied for second most on the team, and 25 RBIs, leading the team. That home run that she had over Humboldt in walkout fashion to send them to Williamsburg for the Region 2 championship game. A nice pitch there from Metz to get her out in front.
She is fast. Wow. See, I hadn't really.
Wheels.
Yeah. Wow. Do we know if she's have you checked anything with track at all with her?
Yes. She qualified for state in the long jump.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, I don't think there was anything that anybody could do about that. Yeah.
That's kind of what we saw with Hughes. That ball was driven towards Rich at shortstop. Carly maybe could have made a little bit, just a quicker effort there towards shortstop, but she still made a great play on it. And
I was going to ask, do you think she hit that home run from her slap bunt approach? Because that's really impressive when you can do that. Yeah.
And you see a lot of players have done that. A prime example just in the past, Emma Townsley, who's now at Wartburg playing basketball. She was a 500 to 600 batting average hitter, as well as Shannon Finn. The slapping approach, if you get a good piece on that on the left side of the box, nice throw there from Ness. Whoa, and they get her out at second. A close play there, but
really close.
A left, you can see the slap being an advantage there for some of the hitters. If it's an inside pitch and they can turn on it, but that ball was a sidewinder in the dirt, but that was a perfect one hop from Ness. We talked about the flamethrower. Maybe she slid
off the bag just a little bit, but just a great play by Ness, and kind of I don't want to say nonchalant of her, but it's not like it was a quick throw by any means. She still was able to get her. That just kind of shows you what Lily's arm is like.
Ness's 9th runner thrown out, caught stealing this year. But, the one thing that's crazy about getting Jeske out is how many stolen bases she's had on the season. Only has been out 3 times on the season.
Wow.
And we saw earlier that Ness had a close play there and gets her redemption there with a great throw to Rich at shortstop. And, a great quick inning for the Raiders defensively. For the Eagles in the top of the third, they score no runs on no hits. No runs on 1 hit, no Raider errors in the field, and no Eagles left on base after Jeske was caught stealing after the Ness throw. Due up for the Raiders in the bottom of the third. 6, 7, 8 for the Raiders. Metz, Spratt, and Allen here, and leading off for the Raiders is pitcher number 17, Jersey Metz. Steph, we saw in Metz's last at-bat, got a walk. Mm-hmm. She's really been that solid hitter that is great at taking pitches and really works the count well. We talked about the 1 through 5 in that Raider lineup has been the pivotal piece for them all summer long. But you'd be seeing 6, 7, 8, 9 being those small hits that you can really count on. Spratt's 2-run double down the line. Allen's single up the middle has been huge for the Raiders.
Yeah, and it just kind of seems like if some area of the lineup is a little bit of a slump, somebody else picks them up at some point, throughout a game. So, I mean, the Raiders are they're a tough out just with the uniqueness of being able to hit home runs, some doubles, and then just the ability to make sure they're not taking bad pitches and draw some walks.
2-1 count here for Morgan in the circle. And for the Eagles, needing a quick inning here.
Oh,
and that ball will stay fair off the glove of Pamperin at third base, and that'll be a single, but a nice job by Locke in left field to get that ball in quickly. And that'll be a leadoff single for Mets, and we most likely will see courtesy Keston Spratt coming to run here for Jersey Mets. And, one thing, Steph, we've seen, it's pretty much automatic who they know they're running for. It's, Mets for Spratt. We've seen a lot of those re-entries and a lot of those things. But, Keston Spratt on the season, 12 of 15 on the season. And now brings up her sister, right fielder number 5, Callan Spratt. Coach Birdie probably put it into perspective. If Keston's on base, you hit better when your sister's on.
Yeah.
And and Callan's been hitting lights out in full playoffs. 1-0 delivery from Morgan. Ball called strike. Right down the middle, 1-1 count. Raiders lead 7-0 after a intense bottom of the second, putting 7 runs on the board. 6 hits now for the Raiders. Ball just a bit outside, gets away. It's away from the catcher. And those are the things that, as the Eagles defensively, with the run rule coming in effect shortly in a lot of these innings, you've got to be smart defensively. And, with the Raiders' defense, it's going to be hard for the Eagles to score runs.
Yeah, especially if they get speed off the bases. Got a quick score update for WAMAC listeners as well. CPU up 5-0 against Mount Vernon. At Mount Vernon going into the bottom of the third here for Mount Vernon. So there's for sure a WAMAC team that will be present at the girls' state softball tournament.
And the sister duo comes in fashion again. And a shallow single into left field. And what a, like we said, that sister.
Yep.
It's that sister love,
Yep.
Keston gets the call, the pinch run, gets a quick stolen base on the pass ball, and then Callan with the stand-up double to score another run for the Raiders. Raiders now lead 8-0 here in the bottom of the third. 2 hits, 7th hit for the Raiders now, 2nd hit for Spratt on the evening. Now brings up designated player number 15, Kylie Allen. Nice eye there from Allen. And for the Raiders, a lot of these hits have just landed in tough spots for the Eagles to make plays. Morgan getting the call from the dugout. Your Callan Spratt now on the base pads, 13 of 14 in stolen bases. And that ball is driven towards left field.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Oh, wow.
Just foul. Oh.
Just foul. We saw that pinch hit home run earlier from Allen. About landed in that same spot.
Yep.
But, wow, that ball was pieced. And, that off-speed action that she really had that piece single up the middle in her first at-bat, staying back and really finding a great piece, just foul. That ball might have stayed fair and might have gone off the foul pole.
And foul.
Ball rolls foul, 0-2 count here. But that's the crazy thing, Steph. You see a foul ball that almost goes for a home run, and then this call from Coach Birdie. Hey, it's base running time.
Yeah.
We've got a runner on second with no outs, 0-2 approach.
Yeah.
Put that bunt down to the right center line and move Spratt over to third. It's just crazy what the Raiders have done, but it just shows the practice pays off. And another off-speed pitch. That one might drop, but that'll roll foul again. And nice wheels there from Jeske at shortstop, almost making the play. But Allen will stay alive. 1-2 count after the foul ball. Allen on the season has been a very hot hitter for the Raiders. And 32 at-bats, 13 hits, batting a .406, 9 doubles, 1 home run that came in pinch hit fashion earlier this summer. Ball driven down the right field line. That'll roll over the dugout, rolling foul. 4 RBI, 2 sacrifices, 19 total bags. And has been someone who has been a pinch runner as well 19 runs scored, 5 of 5 in stolen bases on the season. Allen rips one towards Jeske at shortstop. Looks her back, and Spratt will run towards third. It'll be a quick play at third, but Spratt will make it. Standing up in quick fashion there, the speed of the Raiders. Allen does her job there, Steph. You know, moves
her over one way or the other. I'm sure she wanted that foul ball, almost home run back, just an opportunity to get that, but does her job, gets her over to third base with Ava Hooker up.
Got some updates here from Class 3A Region 7. West Liberty leads West Marshall 4-1. In Class 3A Region 8, Albion Centerville, and that'll be in.
Oop. Ava almost took the catcher or the umpire out. So kind of one of those positions for, is it 9? Yeah, 9-0?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He kind of signaled that he kind of went like this, like she was out, but I don't think he
Yeah, you know,
that,
it's
so.
kind of like you could think of that as.
Oh, he was calling that a strike. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you what he was doing. Okay, so yeah, 9-0. Again, here for the Raiders, love to get that 10th one across so that we could go into the top of the 4th and see if we can hold them to no runs and get the fire trucks rolling through town.
Yes.
So, yes, people who are listening who are in Williamsburg, if you start hearing fire trucks and things like that throughout town, there's no emergency. It'll just be the anything with the girls' celebration if they can hold on and win this ball game.
Ava Hooker now batting for the Raiders. Be a
Nice
play by Schultz at first base. That was a quick play, and with the basket catch, gets the second out for the Eagles. But Steph, like you said earlier, Waller defeating West Delaware 9-3. Class 3A Region 2 Raiders leading 9-0
I'd like to know
here.
that PCM score just as a.
Center Point leads Mount Vernon at the end of the second inning, 4-0 now. So
that's off because Game Changer has it for 5-0 in the third inning.
End of the second here.
That one is, I think, 2-2. Assumption Washington 2-2.
Okay, so Bound doing its best to stay up, but the ever so speedy Game Changer pro Steph Dacey staying on top of it. Raiders back to the top of the lineup, and Hughes a shallow ball hit towards center field, and a nice play in center field made by Ellie Lenning.
All right, we'll have to play a little extra softball. Oh, darn.
For the Raiders in the bottom of the third, they scored 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors in the field for the Eagles and no Raiders left on base. 9-0 advantage here for the Raiders. Going into the 4th inning, Eagles need a big top of the 4th here to keep things rolling. But that Raiders defense has been tough to play against. The hat's out in left field for the Raiders. We've got the pirate hat with feathers. We've got the dreads with beads. We've got it all out there for the Raiders. They're warming up, staying. We've got the Uncle Sam hat out there with the red, white, and blue. But yeah, Raiders lead here, 9-0. You know, Steph, here as the Eagles go into this top of the 4th, down 9 here. It's just all about chipping away.
Yeah, I mean, they just got to be able to put the ball in play a little bit. You know, take a deep breath. You know, they're in kind of this big spot and have their backs up against the wall. They have a great fan base here, and these girls have had a lot of success all season, so no doubt that they're not going to go down swinging. No.
But you know, for an update here from one of the best in the area, from Ben Lamprick. Update, Center Point leading Mount Vernon, and like you said, that's a 13 versus 4 matchup.
Yep.
So an upset there, you know, and that's where the marbles go. You know, you never expect anything until the games are done because so many upsets have happened both on the baseball and softball side. A lot of the Class 3A games have been close, and a lot of those players have been amongst one of the top parts of the conference. Within those upsets, like we saw in baseball last night, Marion getting upset by Mount Vernon, so conference upset. A nice play there by Gorish on the run.
So I got a not a Game Changer, but Miss Katie Rowe, Missouri Valley up 5-1 over PCM.
So that's another game that could go into effect. PCM the higher seed in that game as well. So we will go into some games. After this one wraps up, we'll dive into all the regions. Make sure you stay tuned even after the game. We'll give you guys some recaps of some of the games, some of our favorite moments from the season, this being our last game here at Jim Turner Field. But, man, it's been a great summer here, Steph.
It really has been fun. You know, it's a lot gets jammed into June, and you think about some of the home games that they've battled against. We see a lot of the scores from when they venture out to Des Moines, and it's a really great game. We've kind of talked, great play by Taylor Sanchez. There we go. Talked a lot about that CCA game, how big that was. I think use your word, pivotal point of the season was that Mount Vernon game. That team that showed up in that first game when it was on 9.2. It didn't look anything like the Raiders. Boom, second game comes around, and that looked like the Raiders, and I've kind of felt since then they got everything out in that first bad game of Mount Vernon.
They've got the groove.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything has been clicking since that doubleheader, and I think, Kalen Becker inside the park home run.
Oh, yeah, that was
so many
good.
hits
Yeah.
piled up. Tough game one break for the Raiders there in that one, but then game two firing back and winning, and I think that was truly the turning point. Then a couple ups and downs, winning a lot of those conference games, becoming conference champions.
Yep.
Once again, a couple close losses, but all those losses are to schools that are bigger than us. 1-1 count here for the Eagles here in the top of the fourth. Absolutely not the way they wanted to start. Great pieces of hitting the heart of their lineup in 2-3-4 up. Baez with a line out to Gorshin, left field. Locke with a blazing hit off the bat. Lines out right to Sanchez at second. Ball just a bit outside there. Nice pitch there from Metz. A good two-strike pitch. Moves the count to 2-2 in the double machine. And catcher Holly Anderson now up to bat. Anderson, 2 outs here in a big spot here. Try to keep the Eagles' offense alive. 9-0 advantage here for the Raiders. And a nice pitch there from Metz. And she gets Anderson down on strikeouts for the third out. And we roll into the top of the fourth. The Raiders need just one to end it here at Jim Turner Field. And it's the part of the Raider lineup that they need to make this happen. Metz has been lights out in the circle. As we get things rolling here, 7 runs in the bottom of the second, 2 runs in the bottom of the third for the Raiders. And we've seen here the Raider offense has been clicking. 2-3-4 due up for the Raiders in the bottom of the fourth. And Rich Gorshin-Pitlick, Rich's last at bat, the 3-run shot over the left field fence. And you heard Steph have one of the best home run calls you'll hear in this side of Iowa County in history.
Oh, yeah, man, my heart's still happy for Carly in that moment. It's just kind of, it was fun to see. You love to see success from all of the girls because you know how much work they put in, starting way back. I mean, they're in the gym starting in the wintertime, but just, the work that the pitchers put in the offseason, the catchers in there scraping on the basketball court. It's really fun to see. And then just you go by Carly's house this morning, and there's a line of cars, and that just means that they were all having a team breakfast this morning. They got here probably 4:30, 5 o'clock, probably started warming up, stretching. So, I know for sure that they're all looking forward to an off day because it's been a grind even since the playoffs have started.
We talked about all those sporting events happening all over the world tonight. In Connecticut, the Fever lead the Sun 44-42 at halftime. Natasha Howard leading the way for the Fever with 12 points. Kelsey Mitchell with 11. And the infamous Kaylin Clark at halftime, 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Them playing, I would say they're Interspeed rival in the Sun. Whatever happened last game between Sophie Cunningham and J.C. Sheldon will remain a mystery. After what we saw in that last game was a WNBA. Ball driven out into play there. 1-1 count. An update from the All-Star game as well. The NL leading the AL 2-0 in the bottom of the second. One of my favorite events to watch. The NL scoring in fashion courtesy of a Cattell Marte 2 RBI hit. Marte, the second baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks. As me as a Kansas City Royals fan, it was so awesome to see 4 Royals get sent to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And I got to witness a Byron Buxton cycle last weekend, which was so awesome up in the Twin Cities. Right before the All-Star break, Rich drives one over the.
Get to that right side.
Nice play there.
Nice defense
By the right fielder and Micah Anderson. So many events happening in sports tonight, but Rich almost getting in a hole of another one.
just to end it. Yep. She'll let Allie do it. No, what would be actually the best would be if Taylor Pitlick did it. Let her end it. That would be great.
The lefty v lefty matchup.
Yep.
Knock on wood there for luck. Gorsh here takes the ball upstairs there. We talked about Gorsh being one of the factors for that Raider offense all summer long. Leading the team in RBIs with 44, 6 home runs, tied for the team in home runs, 456 average with a 719 slugging. Ball slips out of Morgan's hands there, moving the count to 2-0 here. You know, that Raider offense is sure going to miss this senior class, and Gorsh taking your talents to Kirkwood next year to play softball. And, you know, this senior class is one to remember for this softball team, Steph.
Yeah, and, you know, talked a little bit about that. What game was that? 2 games ago, just being such a big senior class who has a ton of experience, great leadership. And if you asked any single one of them, they know that they're leading this program better. I hate to say better than they found it, because they had some amazing players ahead of them that just let that culture run and run and run. And I know the seniors think the same thing about the soon-to-be seniors, soon-to-be juniors, soon-to-be sophomores, and know there's still great things ahead for those programs.
Gorsh attacking that left side again, but a nice play there by Pamperin at third base for the second out. Now batting for the Raiders, first baseman number 8, Taylor Pillick. The lefty matchup with Morgan and Pitlick. Called strike on the inside part of the corner. Morgan here in the bottom of the fourth, a lot more comfortable in the circle. 2 quick outs defensively. Ball driven right towards the first baseman, and just like the first inning, a 1-2-3 inning here for the Eagles here. The Eagles defense, Schultz with a nice play off of a ground out to first from Pillick, a G3 put out. For the Raiders in the bottom of the fourth, they score no runs on no hits, no Eagle errors in the field, and no Raiders left on base. A big inning here for the Eagles here. Got to put some runs on the board or this thing will be over. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Eagles here in the top of the fifth, and Morgan, Lenning, and Anderson. A big opportunity here for the Eagles to put some runs on. Like we talked about, hear a little Taylor there, and the fireworks are going off again right behind us here. The home runs, Maya Morgan due up to lead off here at the top of the fifth. Leads the team in home runs with 5 for the Eagles, so a big opportunity for Morgan. No outs, 9-0 advantage here for the Raiders moving into the top of the fifth. Metz has been lights out in the circle. Ness with even a runner caught stealing in the quick Jeske. Leading off the top of the fifth for the Eagles is pitcher number 24, Maya Morgan. It's again 5, 6, 7 due up for the Eagles. Morgan, Lenning, and Anderson due up. Morgan on the season, 225 batting average, 3 doubles, 5 home runs, 18 RBI, a 479 slugging with a 225 average. And the ball called strike on the outside corner, a late strike call there. And once again, thank you to Mike Vennett behind the plate at first base, Sharon Menken at third base, Michael Kreisner. Thank you to the umpires tonight for all of their work. And a foul tip off of the glove of Ness moves the count to 0-2. Perfect spot for Metz, and then this is the damage that Metz can do, Steph, is what pitch does she throw to keep the batter off balance?
Get some changeup. Think she's going to come with the changeup?
You going changeup?
Yep.
I'm going gas. I'm going fastball.
Okay.
Brings a little bit of gas, but it looks like it had a little bit of a tail at the end of it. Just rolling a bit outside there, moving the count to 1-2. 1-2 count, a great 0-2 pitch there from Metz. With the pitch and a foul ball, a nice battle here from Morgan. Only a sophomore. He a junior next year. Metz be back next year for the Raiders. Most likely will take her talents somewhere to play softball at the next level.
Yep, she's definitely has the talent for it, and I think she has the passion and the drive to do that at the next level as well.
A great pitch, and that might be the hit they needed. And that ball will roll off the fence. Morgan might get 3 But that'll roll and a quick throw in from Hooker. And that's the perfect start that the Eagles need here to start the top of the fifth. A great at-bat there from Morgan, fouling off a couple pitches there. And a great turn of events here for the Eagles to start off the top of the fifth with a base hit.
Number 13, center fielder Salem Willard.
The second hit for the Eagles this game. Jeske infield single. We're going to get a couple switches here for the Eagles. Courtesy running for the Eagles is number 11, Addison Ettram. Ettram on the season, the freshman, 8 of 8 on stolen bases. And now batting for the Eagles. Pinch hitting is number 13, Salem Willard, the freshman. This Eagles team is very young and a team that could really make it to the next level. Morgan only a sophomore with the double. Better now. Squaring up, and that'll roll foul. I'd have hit her if she would have pulled back there.
Did it hit her bat?
It hit her bat and rolled foul, yeah.
I thought it for sure pegged her right in the leg.
Yeah, Salem in
She probably wishes
30.
it did.
Yeah. And 34 at bats, 10 runs, 6 hits, no home runs, and 5 RBI. Batting on the season a 176, so a big opportunity here for Willard. Swing and a miss, and a nice off-speed pitch there from Metz. 0-2 count, leadoff double from Morgan to start the top of the fifth. For the Eagles here, 0-2 count, 9-0 lead here for the Raiders. With the pitch, and a called strike 3 on the outside corner. Metz gets Willard down on strikes for the first out. Just got a stat update here for Metz here. So far, 4 1/3 pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. Money on the mound from Metz here. On the other side for Morgan, 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 9 errors, and 3 walks. Raiders finding every part of Jim Turner Field. And that's going to hit her. But that's an unforced part of softball there. A nice bunt there from Anderson there, but hitting her in play, which turns into the second out. Now batting for the Eagles, first baseman number 12, Chloe Schultz. Schultz's second at bat, but 2 hits only given up here by Metz. 2 outs here. 2 outs for the Raiders in the top of the fifth. Only 2 hits given up for that Raider offense. 3-run shot from Rich with 3 RBIs. Spratt 2 hits, 3 RBIs with the 2 doubles to Spratt's name. Kylie Allen with a single up the middle. And McKenna Hughes with an RBI as well with a hit of her own. So the Raiders offense spread out in all levels.
I mean,
I got to say,
that second base runner is
Ness,
really,
Ness could fire one down here.
I know.
To take a stab at the runner on second there with the flamethrower that she has behind the plate. But playing it safe here, with the 9-0 lead, just let Metz do her thing in the circle. Metz with the pitch. Ball, which will pop right into the glove of Ness. And that'll send the Raiders to Fort Dodge.
Oh, my gosh. What a night. Boom. Good to have you back, brother.
Great to have you, Steph.
Congratulations. I can't tell who carried Maya Simmons out there on their back, but needs to definitely be safe. Oh, nice McKenna Capper. Very sweet of her. And that's great. I wasn't sure what kind of game that was going to be when that first inning was taking place. With Eagle Grove coming in, getting that first base runner, then seeing their pitcher kind of go to work. So congratulations to Eagle Grove on a fantastic season. Not an easy trip to make from Eagle Grove to Williamsburg, Iowa. You touched on it at the beginning of the broadcast, about a 2.5-hour drive. Yeah, I didn't see a charter bus out there. I don't know if they brought vans. I see a yellow school bus. Most of those don't have air conditioning. So fantastic season by Eagle Grove. And once again, get to do this with the Williamsburg Raiders. Jeff Willie said we should get that. He's going to get that bus all shined up for them. Well deserved, and I know they'll just be looking at scores and seeing who they're going to match up against.
It's so awesome to watch Raider softball here. Terry got choked up, and it's so awesome because the program that Coach Birdie and his staff have done, it is an absolute. It leaves me speechless because you've got sisters in the senior class, and you've got sisters coming up. It's It is a pipeline of Raider softball. And congrats to the Raiders. Mets in the circle is lights out, 5 scoreless innings, 2 hits given up. We see 2 hits from Spratt, 3 RBIs. That 3-run shot from Carly Rich will probably be one of her most memorable hits in her high school softball career.
Yeah, so just a way to cap it off for her here at Jim
like
Turner.
you said, huge congrats. Jeske with a fantastic season for the Eagles, batting over 500. Will most likely be an all-state selection in the Iowa High School Union, but it's the Raiders and Eagles. It was a great battle here tonight, but the Raiders just found all the holes.
Yes.
And Coach McLaughlin, congrats to him and his staff. And for the Eagles, the Raiders will take a lap and thank all of their fans for coming out and supporting tonight. Super awesome. The Raiders taking their talents and more fireworks going off right behind us here. Raiders winning in 9-0 fashion. We're going to get some updates here from around the regions here while me and Steph look. Albion Centerville in Region 8, no update there yet. Region 7, West Liberty beating West Marshall currently at the end of 4, 7-2. And Region 7 and Region 6, Esterville, Lincoln Central, and Algona will wait a outcome on that game. Class 3A Region 4, PCM in Missouri Valley. We'll get some updates for you as we keep on rolling. But as we update you, almost 460 people watching the stream tonight. It's so awesome. We will update you guys as the Raiders take.
I wish we could get like this equipment down there to get some reaction from the girls, but as they've experienced before, they have lots of hugs and photos to give with their friends and family, and just a huge congratulations. It's been a great ride to be part of this, and to get to sit back and watch it from another coach perspective, just how much respect I have for Coach Birdie and his staff and what they've built. And I hope those that are listening that have young ladies that are here in Williamsburg that aspire to play softball, or they aspire to play volleyball or basketball or wrestling or whatever it is, band, it does take work. These girls, I promise you, everyone, these girls do not just show up and let this just doesn't happen. They are here on the field. They're here in the off season. They're playing on select teams. Some are giving up a lot of other things that they could be doing during the summer. And they go through the up and downs. Not going to say it's always perfect. There's always some tears from time to time, but certainly when you get to leave the gloves on the field and go celebrate the way they get to, it makes it all worth it. And certainly for their families. And there's the fire trucks. There we go.
The Raiders softball team will jump on the fire trucks, but 6 straight seasons of postseason state softball. Ever since 2020, like we said, the Raiders in 2020 as the runner-up in Class 3A, 21 and 22, third place in Class 3A, and then back-to-back state championships for the Raiders. The last 2 years, the Raiders most likely will be crowned with that second seed in the state tournament, most likely. A lot of the lower seeds are leading currently on a lot of those teams, so make sure you stay tuned next. We'll stay on here just for a little bit, just so we can see if any more of the bound updates here. But Williamsburg.
One thing I do want to say, if you are, I'd say, I don't know, a 3-hour drive. I know that next week is tough because you got work week, maybe you're starting a family vacation, but if there's an opportunity for you to get to Fort Dodge, not only to experience Raider softball live, but just to see how the Girls Union puts on the state softball tournament, it's incredible. And they have the vendors there. They're going to have the big pink chair. I mean, the Girls Union, when they put something together, they put the girls that are there first and foremost. It's all the games will be on YouTube throughout the week, and the championship games on public television, Iowa Public Television. But it's first class all the way. So if you can, get up there, maybe watch some softball games. Certainly support the folks online, and I'll put a little pub in there too. I know it's not free to go to the state tournament as a softball program. So if anybody out there has any interest in making a donation, I'm certain if you reach out to Coach King, I know that was something that was super special for our girls basketball program, was just the randomness of donations that came in and the support. So it made us have that extra meal that we weren't maybe looking to get paid for and that got paid for. So we always have had a tremendous amount of support, whether you're in town or you're not in town, but you have a connection to this team. And I know that Coach Birdie, his staff, and certainly the athletic department and all the parents appreciate it. So if there's something that you want to do out there, certainly reach out to Coach King, or maybe drop a line and we can help you figure out a way.
It leaves me speechless just to see a lot of these. It's the success, like we saw, the pipeline that this team has built into years to come. Huge shout out to the senior class. Their last game in Jim Turner Field. Those seniors came out to play tonight. Spratt with 3 RBIs, Rich with that 3-run shot. Almost so many. And it was the upperclassmen. All levels of this team really stepped up tonight to make the Raiders move on to Fort Dodge, and it shows the depth of this lineup. Metz was flat out lights out in the circle tonight. Ness threw out one of the fastest runners in the state of Iowa tonight. So many puzzle pieces coming together tonight to advance the Raiders to Fort Dodge, and it's so awesome to see what this team has done. Super looking forward to them. Teams are going to want to play them.
Oh,
teams are going to want to play.
It's not going to be an easy path.
The Raiders got a chip on their shoulder, and as like Coach Birdie has always said, you play as the underdog, you win as the underdog, and the Raiders have always been really working up, in the previous years, in the Raiders. We look here, 2024 is the number 2 seed, 2023 is the number 1 seed being crowned, and the Raiders probably, like we said, will retain and be that number 2 seed as the Wahlert Catholic. Eagles will be that 1 seed, so Raiders will most likely be updated here as we look at downs here.
I kind of want to say, because I want to get down and celebrate with those girls as they come back, but when you get into playoff softball, it's one game. We've kind of been used to playing the doubleheader. So the other amazing thing about a softball team is you might have been used to playing that second game. I'm going to mention Braylee Plotz and Kaylin Becker. We don't get to be the seed that we are in this region without that work. All the different players that come in and do base running, the players who maybe haven't even stepped on the field, they're so important to the success of this team, because they know that if one person goes down, they're ready to step back up. Maya Simmons goes down with an ACL, and Ava Hooker becomes the lead center fielder for the season, has a great year. You see soon-to-be juniors who are catching for the pitchers who might come in. So there's just always, it's just not always about the 9 players that are out on the field that get the success. It's the supporting cast behind them. It's the supporting cast that's pushing them to be just a little bit better, because you always have someone chasing behind you. And that's what I really admire about this program, is that they stick together, they push each other, and they're really genuinely happy for one another.
Yeah, it's a couple updates. We probably won't get many game finals until the end of the live stream with the run rule fashion, with the Raiders winning in 5 innings. But Wahlert Catholic, the Region 1 champion. Raiders, the Region 2 champion. Mount Vernon currently trails Center Point Urbana 5-4 in the 3rd inning. PCM trails Midland 5-4 in the 3rd as well. So up and down the regions, it'll be really awesome to see who comes and crowns. Doug Carr taking pictures here for the Raiders tonight. One of the best cameramen you will see, but it's so awesome.
We're looking forward to that West Stoner highlight video.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It is going to be so awesome. IGHSAU reposted his softball video. Thank you so much. But, it's another summer of softball completed in Williamsburg for Landon Jepson and Steph Casey.
Thank you to all of our full team of people here, obviously Coach King, anybody that helps with the field, every single parent that's in the concession stand, all the kids that chase after balls, and certainly just all the support from the community and friends and family. I know the girls really appreciate that.
Once again, it has been Williamsburg Raiders softball from Jim Turner Field for Landon Jepson and the ever so amazing Steph Dacey. You'll never hear a better home run call than what she had tonight, and it's been a great summer of Raiders softball, and we'll see you on Fort Dodge. If you want to watch Williamsburg softball at the playoffs, just go on to YouTube. The Union has a YouTube page that will live stream all of the games. Just make sure you click on the right game for Class 3A. You can watch the video and pin it. That's what a lot of people do just to make it easier. You go on to YouTube, they'll have the whole schedule out just probably a day or two before the games start being played, which is already next week, the 21st. They already start rolling things up in Fort Dodge.
I assume we'll be playing Monday night.
Yeah, Monday the 22nd will most likely be that first game. But, it's just make sure you can save it to your pin list and put it to your watch later, and you can get things rolling here. But it's been a great night of softball here. Thank you for joining us.
You're amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, thank you, Steph. It's been a great summer here, in Williamsburg at Jim Turner Field. The fire trucks are rolling all around the stadium. Good luck once again, and thank you to Eagle Grove for coming all the way down here, playing a tough game here. Good luck to all of the seniors for the Eagles in their next paths in their future. And, yeah, it's been a great summer here. Coach King, man, he might be a technician. AD, baseball coach, you name it, he's got it taken care of. But thank you guys for joining us. If you're listening in the car, drive home safe. If you're listening, hopefully we didn't blow out your speakers tonight from home. But take care. Have a great night. And as always, go Raiders.